Awesome. All right. So this is our sixth Agent Unleashed, and obviously we're here in Bangkok. Next slide. So the last 5 all took place this year. It's been an interesting ride. We started in Denver. Last one was in Singapore. Lots of you were there. And this one, we tried something new. A different type of setup, panels now, and then later we'll have a party as well, and it will last into the night. So looking forward to that. Next slide, please. As the last few times, this is only possible because of a lot of sponsors. I'll point out the sponsors of this event on the next slide, but it's also clear we've covered now quite a lot of speakers and panelists. It's awesome to see, and overall the events, we had quite a lot of attendees. So the agenda is now a bit different to what we initially thought it would be, because it shifted. Otherwise, it should stay more or less the same. So we're around 40 minutes behind schedule. That's no big deal at all, though, because we have that break later where we can have dinner and drinks, and there will be some light show outside. And then the details will arrive, so should be good. Let's go to the next slide. I wanted to spend like 2-3 minutes on the topic of the day. So AI agents are seeing increasing attention. I just earlier went to Google, and unsurprisingly, what we find is this sort of graph, right, where people start searching agents more in the recent years. Next slide, please. But if you compare that to LLMs, it's basically nothing. So even though LLM is extremely technical term, it seems like people are searching for that way more than agents. It was a bit surprising to me. Next slide. And then obviously compared to crypto, it's like absolutely zero. Or close to, right? Large language models, a bit of a blip there at the end, but AI agents, basically zero. But, next slide, ChatGPT really dwarfs crypto, right, as a search term. So, I don't want to overinterpret into, Google Trends, but one thing I would say, which is sort of on point with my message, is that a lot of these other things are technologies, but what people actually care about are products. And I think what we're seeing with ChatGPT, obviously, it was the fastest growing product of all time when they launched it. Surely slowed down in terms of growth since then, but it's a phenomenal rise. And if you go to the next slide, obviously we have a much smaller growth with Olas, but on much lower levels, but equally explosive in recent weeks. And then in terms of, all of us have heard of truth terminals probably. And AI 16C is another example of like one of those autonomous AI agents mimetic sort of place which is taking place at the moment. I think what's interesting about all of those, like the growth we've seen with Olas, what you see with Truth Terminal, what you see with AI 16Z, is autonomous AI agents as some form of product and having like some form of early product market fit with very specific verticals. And so, as excited as we all are about the technology and all the participants, certainly on the panels and so on, I think let's keep that in mind, right? Like the real deal here is creating agentic products that people love to use. And the great thing is agents really expand the space of amazing products we can build. And I think that will be the theme of today's many panels and fireside chats. So let's go to the next slide. This is a community. Agents Unleashed is a community that shares one vision. Agents are here to stay and get better, actually. And I'm very excited to hear from all the panelists and speakers later today. That was in Singapore. And hopefully by the end of the day, we'll have a similar filled room once everyone trickled in. Let's kick it off. Last slide. All of this is only possible because of all the sponsors. So obviously, Valerie team, with sponsoring on behalf of Olas, has been putting together this event. And we have Near and Almanak being the gold sponsors, which makes possible a lot of the food as well as the venue. We've got Marlin, Giza, Selini, Capital, Signature Events, Spheron, and Vana being silver sponsors, and then Coinbase developer platform, Coinfident, CoopHive, Creator.bid, Mode, Nevermind, Phala, and Semiotic supporting as bronze. So big applause and thank you to all the sponsors for making this possible. And looking forward to hearing from all of them throughout the night on the panels and the fireside chats. So that's it from me. We have it at almost 45, so we have like a couple minutes for the panelists to come on stage and the first moderator, which is Zoe. So I'll hand over to you and you can take it from here.